Hi, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about firing people and the meanness of firing people and what I think is actually mean. So, there are a lot of people that think that it's mean to fire somebody because you're pretty much telling them you're not good enough. You're not giving them a chance. Well, this person did this, that, and the other wrong, but I think that they can still succeed. And I want to talk about why it's not mean to fire people. It's actually mean not to fire people. I know it's going to sound a little silly and bullshit, like I just kind of made it up, but I really do believe that it is actually mean to not fire people in many cases. So let's say you have somebody that you know cannot live up to your standards, but you keep asking them to live up to your standards, and you know deep down because you've asked them to live up to a certain standard over and over and over again that they can't do it. And you're not going to get rid of them because that's mean. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to keep asking them to do that same thing that they are incapable of doing, and they're going to keep failing. And human nature is going to kick in at some point, and eventually you're going to become very, very disappointed in them. And then eventually you're going to become frustrated with them because you don't have the ability to do anything, because you can't fire them, you can't get rid of them. You have no way of creating a solution for this problem. And since you have no way of creating a solution for your problem, you're going to start to resent that person. You may start acting passive-aggressive towards that person, and you may not treat that person very nicely. So now, not only does that person have to come to work every day knowing that they are failing every single day, knowing that they are not succeeding, knowing that they are disappointing somebody, but now they're also going to have to deal with the side of you that's kind of pissed off at them on a regular basis. And that's kind of cruel. And, on one hand, they can decide to quit. They can decide to quit. But on the other hand, you as the employer are the one with the responsibility to know better. That's my opinion. In my opinion, it's your store, it's your business, it's your company. You're the one setting the culture of the organization. So you're the one that's going to set a culture of either I can let this person free and I can let them out into the world to figure out that they are good at something else, or I can choose to cling to this person and encourage their lack of ambition and encourage their anxiety and fear of the unknown and continue to keep them in a position where they are going to fail, where they are not going to succeed, where they are going to anger me and piss me off, and I'm not going to let them find out for themselves that there's something else that they could be doing out there, where they're going to make much more money than they ever would with me, where they are going to be much happier than they ever would with me, because I don't want to potentially make them feel bad. The thing is, it's not about your personal concern for making them feel bad, because this is what I notice with a lot of people. It's not about you being afraid that you're going to make them feel bad. The concern is that you yourself are going to feel bad because you fired them. You're afraid of what other people are going to think of you because you fired them. What is the rest of my staff going to think of me? What are my friends going to think of me? What are other people in the community going to think of me because I fired that person? And one of the I would say defining characteristics of how I do business is that I don't care what other people think. I care about what is best for me and the people that are close to me. And if I'm working with you on a regular basis and I know that you can't live up to what it is I'm asking you to live up to, and I know that I'm eventually going to get ticked off at it, I'm going to kind of expect failure from you. And that's just not a good relationship to have with somebody, and that's a relationship that, in my opinion, needs to end. So, in my book, the cruelest thing you can do, the absolute cruelest thing you could do to anybody, whether it's an employee, a friend, a family member, a spouse, a loved one, is that you can ask them to continue to live up to a standard that you know they are incapable of living up to. And you have to come up with your own metrics for figuring this out. Is it after they fail 3 times? Is it after they fail 10 times? Is it after they fail 50 times? Is it after you have conversations with them and you get a predictable defensive response from them instead of openness to criticism? You'll figure it out. You have to come up with your own metrics. But you have to come up with your own metrics to determine whether somebody is succeeding or failing. And you have to be honest with those metrics. And if you realize after a certain period of time that somebody has absolutely no ability of living up to your standards, then you have to say, listen, this is not going to work. Here's why. And honestly, it just comes down to, I'll be honest with them. I'll say, I am just going to continue getting mad at you. I'm going to be mad at you for things that I think should be easy. And I totally understand from your point of view why you can't do that. I'm not putting you down because you can't do that, but I don't really want to be in a situation where I'm constantly bitching at you and where I'm mad at you and where you're disappointed because I'm disappointed in you. That's not good for any of us. There are other jobs out there where you're going to excel and do great and probably make more money than I ever will. But how are you going to find them if you're stuck here making the base pay that you can get because you don't contribute to my business. The absolute cruelest thing you can do is ask people to live up to an expectation that they are not capable of. It's not getting rid of them that's cruel. It's keeping them in a position where they are pretty much being set up for and destined for failure.